This is a sea star, commonly called a starfish. They're named after their shape, which reminds people of stars. They're called fish in reference to living under the water. They live in the benthic zone. The easiest way to find them from land is to walk onto the beach from mid-low tide to actual low tide. They are of the phylum Echinodermata, which has Latin roots meaning spiny hedgehog skin. Their phylum cousins are brittle stars, sand dollars, sea urchins, and sea cucumbers. Echinoderms have radial symmetry. They have a central axis with everything arranged around that. They can span in size anywhere from a few centimeters to several feet. And this is just something I've always done since I was a kid. There are about 2,000 species of sea stars. A five-armed sea star is the most common type, but there are species with up to 40 arms. This sea star is a five-armed, specifically a leather star. All sea stars have two sides. One side is their pattern protective side, while their underside contains the entrance to their organs and their two vessels, which are used for filtration, movement, and suction. Sea stars don't have eyes in the sense that humans do. They have eye spots, which can detect light and dark, but not colors. They can only detect slow-moving objects. If something swims by too fast, they do not detect it. They move by using their vascular system to move water into their feet and expand them. They use their muscles to retract their feet. They use the suction cups on the ends of their tentacles to attach to rocks and objects in swift currents and in tidal changes. They can burrow into rocks and are often found under rocks. You do not need to be afraid of sea stars, as they are not harmful. But just don't get too large a one stuck to you if you have sensitive skin. Sea stars are hunters. They have a diet of mostly mollusks, clams, oysters, sand dollars, mussels, mostly anything that is attached to a rock and cannot escape. But they do also eat things such as snails, crabs, injured fish, pretty much anything they can hunt. As they only sense slow-moving things and can only catch slow-moving things, they have to be slow-moving. But they are very important predators in this shallow ecosystem because they eat anything they come across. They control the whole ecosystem. Sea stars have the ability to regenerate amputated limbs and lost body parts. Some sea stars are able to regrow their entire body with only just a piece of a severed arm. Their ability to do this is one of the coolest things about them. That regeneration is referred to as asexual reproduction. Sea stars also reproduce sexually. Each sea star has a gender, but this gender is only known at the time of reproduction. Sea stars are considered adults at the age of 2, and they can join in the reproductive process. A sea star lives on average to the age of 35, so they have a lot of reproductive years in their lifetime. At the time of reproduction, both male and female sea stars hold their sperm and eggs in pouches at the base of their arms. The type of reproduction which they do is called free spawning. They release their eggs and sperm at the same time into the ocean. They float around until they meet and the sperm fertilizes the egg. The fertilized embryos are free-swimming animals and are part of the zooplankton. They morph into larvae and then morph into the sea stars we know and love. Their ability to regenerate has significantly helped with their constant presence on the seafloor, and they are not endangered at all. The way a sea star hunts is by latching onto its prey with the suction cups on the end of its tube feet. It will then push its stomach out through its mouth and onto the thing it is eating. If it is eating a bivalve, or such as a mussel or a clam, it will shove its stomach into its shell. When it is done digesting, the sea star returns its stomach into its body and continues on to search for its next prey. So, some fun facts about sea stars. There are no freshwater sea stars. They only live in the ocean. They pump water instead of blood throughout their bodies, and they have no brain. Anyways, sea stars are the coolest, and I hope you think so too. This is my ocean organism. I made the sea star out of melting chocolate. It is milk chocolate, and they are delicious. It is brown color, which is not as colorful as most sea stars. But I tried to add some red to make it a little orangey, but the orange did not show up on the camera. As you can tell, it portrays the bony structure of the echinoderm quite nicely. Sea stars live in the benthic zone, and here is my chocolate sea star in its natural habitat, amongst mollusks and barnacles, which are actually its main forms of food. We do have to be careful that crabs or birds won't come and eat him, and unlike real sea stars, we also have to look out for people. And unfortunately for chocolate star, it does not have the vascular system made of water, so it cannot run away from all of those predators. We also have to be careful not to lose a leg, because unlike a real sea star, he cannot simply regrow them. Although the chocolate does allow for a nice camouflage, he fits right in with the other sea stars, who use their colors to protect them from their predators. I added white chocolate on the bottom to imitate the underside of a sea star, with little strands of tube feet. Unfortunately for Chocolate Star, the tube feet broke off and did not have the suctioning abilities to hold onto the rocks as well as the sea stars. But he is quite beautiful.